All right, let's dive into this absolutely incredible story from the ancient Srimad Bhagavatam. What we're doing today is breaking down a classic lecture from Radhanath Swami all the way from Mumbai back in '93. He tells this powerful story about a cosmic crisis and the totally unlikely hero who solved it, revealing something amazing about where real power comes from. So, can you imagine a being so powerful, so filled with this divine rage that the entire universe is just trembling? That was Lord Narsimhadeva, an incarnation of God, right after he'd basically saved all of existence. The problem was, he defeated this great evil, but his anger was still there, and it was so terrifying that literally no one dared to even get close. So here's the situation. The Lord has just saved reality, but now his own righteous anger is threatening to burn everything down. It's this huge cosmic paradox, right? The ultimate protector has accidentally become the biggest threat, and all the greatest powers in the universe have absolutely no idea what to do. They're stumped. And when I say the greatest powers, I really mean it. You've got Lord Brahma, the creator of the whole cosmos, the peak of intellect. You've got Lord Shiva, the destroyer, the very embodiment of immense power. And get this, even Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the Lord's own eternal partner, was too afraid to approach him. So you have to ask, if they were all helpless, who in the universe could possibly fix this? This is where the story takes such a fascinating turn. You've got all these cosmic heavy hitters standing on the sidelines, completely unable to do anything. So Lord Brahma looks around for a solution, and his eyes land on probably the most unexpected candidate you could ever imagine.
Yup, that's right. A 5-year-old boy. His name is Prahalada. He's the one they decide to send in to face this unapproachable, terrifying lord. He's just a little kid. In fact, he's the very person that Lord Narasimhadeva appeared to save in the first place.
And this comparison here just says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you have these beings with incredible power, off-the-charts intellect, and all the prestige in the universe. By every worldly standard, they are the qualified ones. And then you've got Prahlada. A little kid, no power to speak of, born into a family of demons. On paper, he is completely 100% unqualified for a job this big. Okay, so what is going on here? What did this little boy possibly have that the most powerful beings in the entire creation were missing? What was his secret? I mean, that's the central mystery of the whole story, isn't it? It just seems impossible. But the answer is actually found in this really beautiful and simple analogy that explains a very, very deep spiritual truth. So, to understand his secret, let's use this analogy. Picture a powerful, raging river. Now imagine a huge, mighty elephant, representing all that worldly power and strength, tries to step into that water, thinking it can just push its way through. But what happens? Well, the elephant, for all its might, fights against the current, and it just gets swept away. Its strength is completely useless. But the tiny fish? The fish doesn't fight the river. It lives in the river. It's part of the flow. Its power isn't in resisting, it's in surrendering, you see? The great demigods were the elephant. Prahlada, he was the fish. And that right there, that perfectly illustrates this core idea of taking shelter. It's all about realizing that your own strength, your own smarts, your own qualifications, they're not going to cut it. Prahlada wasn't relying on himself at all. He had this complete, simple, innocent trust in the Lord. He had totally taken shelter. So, armed with nothing but this innocent faith, this state of complete surrender, this small boy starts to walk toward the most fearsome being in the entire universe.
You know, he doesn't come with some fancy prayer or some big show of power. He just slowly, without any fear, walks up and bows down, offering his respects right at the Lord's feet. It's such a simple, humble act.
And in that one moment, something absolutely miraculous happens. The Lord sees the pure, helpless devotion of this little kid, and all of that divine anger, it just melts away. It's completely replaced by this overwhelming wave of fatherly affection and love. The rage that had the creators and destroyers of worlds totally terrified, gone. Instantly. The crisis that nobody could solve is just over, in a heartbeat. And then, the Lord, whose form was the source of so much terror, does the most tender thing imaginable. He reaches down and gently places his hand on the boy's head. It's this gesture of pure love and blessing. And just like that,
the universe is safe again.
So the whole point, the crucial lesson here, is what Prahlada showed us, the supreme power of helplessness. I know, it sounds like a total contradiction, but it is the absolute heart of this teaching.
Radhanath Swami puts it perfectly in his lecture. He says it wasn't power or intellect or prestige that calmed the Lord down. It was humility and nothing else. That simple, sincere recognition of your own smallness and your dependence on a higher power.
Here's another great analogy to make this really hit home. Imagine an air raid siren goes off. Bombs are falling. In that moment, who you are in the regular world becomes completely and totally irrelevant.
Think about it. You can't bribe the bomb, you can't fight it, you can't outsmart it. Your fancy title means nothing. All of a sudden, the rich person, the strong person, the genius, everyone is on the exact same level, equally helpless. And what does every single person do? They run for shelter. That shared helplessness forces a state of humility and this desperate search for protection.
And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. True humility isn't weakness. It's not about thinking less of yourself, it's about thinking of yourself less. It's this clear-eyed understanding that, hey, we are not the ultimate controllers, and that real strength, real safety, lies in seeking shelter in a power that is so much greater than our own.
So this whole story leaves us with this really provocative question. In a world that is constantly telling us to be strong, be independent, be in control, what if true strength is found not in what we can control, but in what we have the courage to surrender to? What if the greatest power we could ever have comes from being like that little boy and just humbly letting go?